And welcome to True Blue Politics Podcast Daily. Today is August 13th, 2026, and I am Karen from Chicago, and I am joined by my brilliant and lovely co-host Anita from San Antonio. Hey, Anita,
Hey Karen,
how are you
it's
doing today?
I'm not doing that great.
No.
I
Um,
mean, things aren't really going well. Let's just say. Okay, go ahead. You can talk about what we're gonna.
well, no, go ahead. I mean,
No, I'm very upset about some of this, the news that's come out just recently, yesterday,
mhm.
about Heidi, who's a very good friend of the show. She's been on our show, I think, how many
Three
times?
times, I'm going to say.
3 times. Her and
At
Wendy.
least, yes,
They're
her
with the
partner. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they used to be with the Southern Poverty Law Center. They were there for like 20 years.
Yep.
And everybody knows, well, at least our listeners would know, that the Trump administration has been going after the Southern Poverty Law Center, and it's all trumped up charges um, that they've, they're going after them because the Southern Poverty Law Center is an organization that has been very effective in fighting right wing extremism and white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this is and also because the midterms are coming up and they have to throw their base some red meat, right?
Right.
Again.
Right.
And they want to bring up this Southern Poverty Law Center thing because I can tell you from social media and listening to the, on Twitter, because it's basically a bunch of Nazis on there right now. We're very excited about, going after the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean the announcement came yesterday that they had arrested Heidi in California. Um
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yep, in California, and that she will be required to appear in court in Alabama in 2 weeks. So this is the thing, and we talked about this a little bit. The Southern Poverty Law Center brought down the KKK. They have that under their belt. And so what they have been doing is they have been investigating for many, many years right-wing extremism, hate groups, and
Right.
they, keep track. And so part of that work requires people to infiltrate and inform
Well,
on the activities, right? They go kind of on the inside. And
Well,
um,
how they've always operated, but
right.
they are considered so legitimate.
Hmm.
The government has partnered with them. Often the FBI partners with them. We saw that in the Unite the Right
Yes.
riot or protest or whatever that was in Virginia,
Hmm.
in Charlottesville,
Hmm.
and they were getting information from the SPLC about these extremist right wing
That's right.
extremist groups.
That's right.
So yeah, and they
So,
rely on them.
right, and they do, and they state that clearly. But of course, because Donald Trump and the Republicans are weaponizing the DOJ and the FBI, they indicted the SPLC on fraud claims that they did not reveal or disclose that they were using money to pay informants,
Well, that
which,
they were using donors
right,
money,
donors' money.
right?
Exactly.
That they were using that money to pay informants, which is ridiculous because, of
Right.
course, the donors knew what the SPLC was. They
Right.
knew the only way they were going to get the information they got and bring these organizations down, these white supremacists and right wing extremists, violent right wing extremist groups, was to have informants. There's
Right.
no other way to do it. Every law enforcement agency uses paid informants.
Hmm.
And so they were using paid informants.
Yes.
And one of the things in this that they were saying, I know this was on the CNN article, where they
Hmm.
talk about how one of the informants was living with um,
Heidi.
Heidi, not Wendy. He was living with Heidi, and which is, I mean, basically he was her colleague. He
Right.
was being paid by the SPLC, and I don't think that's illegal. And also that somehow she was benefiting from the fact that he was being paid as an informant.
Right.
Well,
Well,
First of all,
it feels like, you know what it feels like a little bit, and they do this to women all the time.
that's right. This is the
Right.
thing they're doing because she's a woman. Yes.
Yes, because they did that to Fannie Willis in
Oh yeah.
Georgia. You know, I mean, it was different, obviously a different situation, but though I feel like that's the implication. They're trying to build some sort of salacious something with
Well, yes, of
that.
course, they're trying to
Right.
make it salacious, but it's not salacious. I
No.
mean, the fact that she benefited from somebody's paycheck that she was living with. I mean,
Right.
I benefit from my husband's paycheck. I don't know about you, but you probably
Hmm.
benefit from your
I
partner's
do.
paycheck.
I do.
Yeah.
Right.
That's, so, I mean,
And
it's
if
not,
somebody rented a room for me, I would be benefiting from that income, you know?
or if you
Uh,
lived with somebody, of
Right.
course.
Right.
So, I mean, they're trying, like you said, they're trying to make it seem, salacious, nefarious,
Yes.
somehow nefarious.
Right.
But the fact is that she happened to live with this guy that was working as an informant for the
Yeah.
SPLC.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
anyway,
so going back to the end of April, came out of Courthouse News Service. The Southern Poverty Law Center told a federal court on Tuesday that law enforcement agencies have long known that the nonprofit paid informants to report on the movements of hate groups, rejecting assertions by the Trump administration that the nonprofit steered money to the Ku Klux Klan and other extremist groups without the knowledge of authorities. That's another claim.
now see, this is what Todd Blanche went up and said this, I think on
Yes.
CNN or on Fox or something like that. And it was just
Hmm.
an outright lie. The
Yes.
FBI partnered with the SPLC,
Right.
even in the Unite the Right,
Right.
and I'm sure in many other, uh,
Sure.
events.
Yeah.
They partnered with them to get information because they
Yeah.
knew that these people knew how to infiltrate these organizations
Right. It's
because
basically they're like, a subsidiary, almost like, a subsidiary
a
of the
subcontractor.
subcontractor of the federal government because, they may not have the time and resources, right, to be able to
Right.
do that. So they just kind of, they help. They've been,
That's right.
doing this hard work. So the Alabama-based nonprofit was indicted last week. This is the end of April on charges of fraud and money laundering. Prosecutors said the
Money
group
laundering.
Group misled donors by using their money to pay informants who served as leaders in the very hate groups the organization was founded to fight.
You know what? First of all, not one time have they said, hey, here's this, a donor is complaining about this.
Right.
Not one donor has complained about
No.
this. Every single donor that's been interviewed has
Hmm.
said, yeah, of course they were paying informants.
Right.
We assume that.
Right.
It says in the brochure that they give to prospective donors, this money may be used for for paying informants.
Right. Duh. That's literally the work that they're doing. I mean, people, if I give my money to the organization, I know I want them to use the
That's what
money.
they were saying. We
Right.
want them to use that.
Exactly. Exactly. So in the Intercept, this is the headline. We knew they were paying informants. SPLC donors reject Trump DOJ fraud claims. 20 donors to the Southern Poverty Law Center said the alleged fraud being prosecuted in their name was exactly how they hoped the group would spend their money.
Of course.
Right.
That's what they wanted. That's why they donate to
Exactly.
the SPLC.
Yep. Yep. So it's simultaneously infuriating and laughable that they're charging the SPLC with funding hate groups, said Mary Wine Kling, an Alabama native and longtime supporter of the group, pointing to the SPLC's longstanding work battling extremist groups, which included bankrupting the United Klans of America, she added. We knew they were paying informants.
Yeah, they bankrupted the Klan by because and I remember this because I remember this is what made me like really admire the SPLC.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was a poor woman in Alabama whose son was beaten and hanged on
Mm-hmm.
it was just a horrible thing what they did to her like 19-year-old son, the
Yes.
Ku Klux Klan in
Right.
Alabama.
Right.
And they actually they actually sued the KKK and actually took all of their land and all their property from them
Yeah.
and bankrupted them.
Yes.
So they have done a lot of work, and it just tracks the Trump administration, the guys that are, firing people left and right, saying trying to get rid of DEI,
Sure.
are going after the SPLC.
Sure. So, and of course now, and and this is the thing. We say this all the time. It is not just Trump. It is not just his cabinet. Every single one of these Republicans in the Senate, save but two, okay, because, you know, they have to have some sort of political cover, voted to confirm the Attorney General, the new Attorney General, Todd Blanche. Now,
Donald Trump's former personal attorney, by
former
the way.
personal attorney. So the SPLC, this is what he says. The SPLC is manufacturing racism to justify its existence. Using
Oh,
donor money to allegedly profit off Klansmen cannot go unchecked. This Department of Justice will hold the SPLC and every other fraudulent organization operating with the same deceptive playbook accountable. No entity is above the law. FBI
manu-
let
okay,
me
go ahead.
FBI
Okay.
Director Kash Patel accused the group of taking advantage of the esteem in which its donors held the SPLC.
You know why they hold him in esteem? Uh, because they're
I know
going
what they
after
do.
white supremacist group.
Yes.
This guy just accused them
Wait,
of manufacturing racism.
wait,
Manufacturing racism.
wait. Let me ask you a question. Are you talking about the same groups like the Oath Keepers, Anita?
Yeah,
Are you talking about the Proud Boys?
I know exactly. I know.
Hold on,
I know.
Well, those names are so familiar to me. Weren't those two of the organizations that attacked the Capitol?
Yes, not only did they attack the Capitol, but most of their leaders were convicted of what was it? Um
Conspiracy?
no, conspiracy to no
Seditious conspiracy.
seditious conspiracy.
Yes,
Yes, which is it's a very difficult thing to get somebody convicted on. And most
yes,
of them were convicted of that because they actually planned January 6th. A
yes.
lot of them that weren't even there, but they
Hmm.
were convicted by
Stuart,
go
Stuart
ahead.
Rhodes, I think, was convicted and sentenced to 18 years, I believe, if I remember
Enrico,
correctly.
yeah, Enrico
Enrico
Tarrio.
Tarrio,
Hmm.
yes,
Like
yes.
20 years.
And so then what happened after Donald Trump took office,
He pardoned
2.0?
their he pardoned their asses.
Oh,
These guys
that's
that
right.
planned the attack on the Capitol, planned an attack against our government,
Yes,
tried to overthrow our government.
yes.
And these guys have the audacity. This is seriously, go on and explain exactly the kind of work that Heidi was doing that might have made her a target.
So Heidi and her partner, Wendy, 6 years ago started Global Project against hate and extremism. And it is a organization that furthers and continues with the work that the SPLCU has been doing. And they go around the world and they see the right wing, authoritarian push.
They're
And
dedicated to fighting
also,
right wing extremism across the
exactly.
globe.
And
Yeah.
they came on, came in to our lives when we first started the podcast and we first learned about Project 2025. And
Hmm.
so we invited these ladies on, and, they so graciously came on and they educated us. And we were actually talking about it way in advance of the mainstream media. I mean, it was a good, 9 to 10 months, I would say.
Right.
Right.
Before everybody else caught on. Yeah.
Exactly. So Heidi, so Heidi's been doing this work. And so I'm going to this is the overview of Heidi and her work. Heidi Bayrick is an American extremism expert and the co-founder of the Global Project Against Hate and Extremism, formerly the director of the Southern Poverty Law Center. And let me just say, go to their website, please, and support them. They're still putting out, their content. I just got an email from them this morning.
Oh,
Um,
by the way, let me just
yes.
say they're forming a coalition with the ACLU and other anti-hate groups
Yeah.
that are backing them and defending them. And
Good.
yes,
Good.
so it's important to
So,
understand that.
so she was formerly the director of the Southern Poverty Law Center's SPLC Intelligence Project, where she was indicted by a federal grand jury in August, that was yesterday, on charges related to financial conspiracy. Um, So yeah, I mean, we had them on, and I don't know if so. This is what came out yesterday. This is from Al Jazeera. Trump administration arrests Southern Poverty Law Center expert for fraud. A leading expert on far right groups in the United States has been charged by the administration of President Donald Trump for her alleged role in the use of donor money to secretly pay confidential informants. All right, so we already kind of saw that. They're charging her with wire fraud, conspiracy to submit false statements to a bank, and conspiracy to commit money laundering, FBI Director Kash Patel said. Heidi Bayrick was at the center of our ongoing investigation into SPLC and their previous alleged criminal activity, Patel wrote on the social media platform X, because of course,
Hmm. That's how they do business now.
that's the way they
Our
do it.
government. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to play a little bit
Well, no,
of
also that she
yes, go
was
ahead.
an advisor to the January 6th
Yes,
committee.
and she was an advisor to the January. Thanks you for bringing that up. Yeah, so she was an advisor to the January J6 committee in regarding specifically the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I think there was a big target on her back.
I agree. I agree. So I'm going to go ahead and play this clip. This is from May 25th, 2026, episode 61 of True Blue Politics podcast. Just a little clip of Heidi.
Yeah.
25, I was looking at the tracker and they're over 50% finished
I
with some of
know.
their stuff.
Isn't that shocking that it happened so fast,
Mm-hmm.
according exactly to plan? And I think so many folks didn't really believe that this was going to be in our future or that Project 2025 was serious. I mean, I remember talking to a lot of people who thought that when Wendy and I were warning about this, that we were being hysterical or hyperbolic
Hmm.
or,
Mm-hmm.
over the top, and we weren't. I mean,
You're not
it's
saying that now.
no, no, and sadly, we're all living it now,
No.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I think people thought that while maybe some of these things might get implemented, it could never go as far as the plan described. It could never happen as quickly as the plan described,
Mm-hmm.
and that somebody would stop it.
Right.
And
Yeah, exactly. They always think somebody's going to stop it. Not them, somebody else.
Well, let's
yeah,
not forget that Trump just lied about it. Remember, he was like, I have nothing to do with
Oh,
that.
I
I'm
don't know
not
anything
doing
about
that.
Never
that.
heard. Yeah, it's like Project 2025 is a coffee girl. I have no. So I'm going to stop it there. But, so
Yeah, I know. It's just it's such
and
it's
it's happening. This is exactly it. This is
this is
exactly
exactly
what they
what's
were warning
happening.
us about. I have my
Hmm.
hat on, Anita, refuse fascism,
Yeah,
because, I mean, this is exactly what their work has been trying to do. And that's why they're
exposed. They're work.
yeah, and that's why they're weaponizing. That's why Trump um is weaponizing the FBI and the DOJ against them.
Well, the SPLC, I mean, was very effective, and
Mm-hmm.
so they're going after. And you know what? Every right winger knows that.
Yep.
They understand they all know who the SPLC is, the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Right.
They have a hate group tracker. They will label whatever group if it's involved in anti-Muslim, xenophobic, whatever kind of hate they're perpetrating. They will expose them.
Yep.
And they've been very effective at that. You can go to their website
Yeah.
and see which groups are labeled hate groups, hate
Right.
organizations.
Exactly.
And this has always been something that really bothered the right. They've really wanted to go after the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yeah.
And a lot of us on the left probably didn't recognize that or didn't pay attention. But these guys mean business. They want to get rid of anybody that's exposing them.
Yeah. Yeah. So and this is, so this is what, the SPLC, the group's stated mission is to fight white supremacy and create a multiracial democracy. And it has issued publications critical of conservative groups like Turning Point USA, which it
Hmm.
characterized as a case study of the hard right. Bayrick's lawyer, Michael Proctor, said his client is innocent of the charges and described the case as politically motivated. He accused prosecutors of trying to punish his client for her decades-long record of success dismantling hate groups. A free and fair society does not use the justice system to silence its political opponents, he said.
It's just, this is so, I mean, this is the playbook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is exactly the playbook.
This is what they're going to do. They're going to go after everybody that's a threat to them,
Right.
that's been a threat to
That's
them.
exposing them and that is,
Hmm.
has been going after and holding these people
And been good
accountable.
at it.
So don't tell me, anybody out there, don't tell us that, oh, Donald Trump, and the Republicans, they're not, they're not racist. No, they're not,
They're not fascists.
they're not fascists. It's like, no, they literally are
Hmm.
showing us every single day
Well, they're
some
against
other
everything.
example. Yeah,
They're against everything you just read that the Southern Poverty Law Center stands for.
that's it.
And so they've got to get rid of them.
Yep.
So not only are they using them as they're also using them as an example to kind of
Right.
send the message out there. Hey, guys, don't even think about trying to go after us.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. If Democrats, when we get back in control,
Yep.
I'm telling you, we should not pussyfoot around going after these hate groups.
Yep.
I'm not, we need to start going after them because they actually are a threat. And
Yeah.
don't tell me that Turning Point USA and all these other groups that that the SPLC has exposed or don't have all kinds of criminality going on.
Yeah.
Of course they do.
Yep. Yep. So, in the Al Jazeera article, it says, violent, this is a quote, violent extremists have not stopped or intimidated Dr. Bayrick from her vital work during her time at the SPLC, Proctor said. This is her attorney. Dr. Bayrick won't be silenced or intimidated by the government's false and politicized allegations now.
No,
So,
she was on our show just a few weeks ago
yep.
talking about this stuff.
Yep.
She knew she couldn't talk about what was going on with the SPLC. We didn't know how involved she was or how they were going after her. And maybe she didn't know that at the time
She
either.
may not have known either. Yeah.
But she was apparently their CFO.
I have heard CFO, but I'm hearing other, that she was,
But
the
she
head
was
of this group.
she was
But
high up. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and bottom line, the bottom line is that this is weaponization. These are completely trumped up charges. The worrying part of it, of course, is she's going down to Alabama where there is a Trump appointed judge.
Yes, there was a Trump appointed judge that they had appealed to dismiss the charges because they are trumped up and they're just it's what do they call that when they went after Abrego Garcia? Uh, something prosecution where they just go after them.
Wrongful prosecution.
Yeah, not wrongful prosecution, but it's where they're targeting them for a political reason, and that's what they're doing here. And that's that's exactly what they're doing here. But this judge just said no, I'm not going to dismiss it. But she was a Trump appointed judge, so be aware of that. And it is in Alabama. But
which is where the SPLC is headquartered, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's where it's headquartered. So it's not going to be a DC court like we've seen with Jeanine Pirro.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'm frightened for her. I'm frightened for her.
I mean, I think that it's one of those things, and we saw, of course, with high profile cases, like Comey, and others that are, higher profile, of course, we all, the people are like, yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. They probably lied to get the indictments in in the first place. But the thing of it is, it is chilling. It's to chill people. It's to, make people afraid.
It's make people afraid to go after them or to
Yeah.
expose them. So I mean, I hope they can drag this out for a couple of years until the Trump administration is gone. But I don't know. It's and I would like for a Democratic Congress to investigate this bullshit
Yeah.
and call out the DOJ and because I haven't heard much from mainstream pundits about this case. It's all over the news. I saw it
Hmm.
it was on CNN, and of course you read from Al Jazeera. People
Yep.
were reporting it, but she's not James Comey, like you said on Stephanie
Hmm.
Miller. She's
Hmm.
not a high profile person,
Yep.
but it's just as it's very troubling, and
Right.
everybody should be
You
troubled
know,
by it.
absolutely. Everybody should be troubled by it. And, I'm glad to see that there are these other organizations that are kind of building a coalition.
Yeah,
Because I'm sure that she's going to be one of many that
yeah.
they try and do this to. And it's,
Well, I don't know.
look,
They may be using her as like an example to
well,
just kind of
maybe, I mean,
chill them.
maybe, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, they could, we don't know. But, the point being too, and we have to also state that when they are doing this, they're using our money to do this.
Yep.
They are doing this,
The taxpayer dime
taxpayer dime. I mean, it's ridiculous.
in our name.
In our name. And meanwhile, and I'm just gonna kind of shift over to this because, meanwhile, I'm going to play this clip. Um,
Meanwhile, for more
it's
depressing news,
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, and we'll talk about it on the other side. This is multiple sailors on the USS Abraham Lincoln have tried to jump overboard, reports say.
Multiple
hmm
sailors on the USS Abraham Lincoln have tried to jump overboard due to how horrific the conditions are on the ship. The aircraft carrier has been deployed for over 259 days, including a record-breaking 208 continuous days at sea. This is all to support the war that Donald Trump started in the Middle East. Widespread exhaustion and anxiety over an indefinitely extended deployment have triggered severe psychological distress among the roughly 5,000 crew members. Family members and online tracking reports indicate that up to 6 sailors have tried to throw themselves overboard out of desperation, but the U.S. Navy has not publicly released an exact figure. Families of active duty sailors and Marines detailed the horrific living conditions on the ship. Wartime logistics and disruptions, including a strike on a U.S. facility in Bahrain, have crippled the ship's supply lines. The ship's store regularly runs out of basic hygiene products like soap, deodorant, and toothpaste, forcing sailors to wait in line for over an hour only to find empty shelves. They're also running out of food. Meals have been reduced to half a cup of rice and 2 tortillas. They're facing countless infrastructure issues as well and operating on grueling 12 to 16-hour shifts with virtually no days off since the ship left the port.
So it sounds
I've
like
heard
the
it.
diet, the recommended diet for
Well, they
all
yes.
of us, the
Well,
Americans. Only we get
well,
chicken and
no,
broccoli.
we get a mystery
Yeah. And
treats.
and yes.
But anyway, yeah, I've heard 9, and
Hmm.
also some people were kind of thinking that maybe they're throwing themselves overboard because they'll get not to actually commit suicide,
Yeah.
at least not all of them, but because they'll get medical leave and they'll get the hell out of there
Yeah.
because they're so desperate. This is how desperate they are.
Yeah.
Apparently, they can't get fresh fruit, fresh vegetables to them.
No.
They're
They're
getting some
starving. They're
frozen
basically
meat.
starving. They're losing. Yeah.
They're losing 30 to 40, some have reported up to 30 or 40 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's just miserable. Can you imagine being on,
No.
if you've ever been on a ship,
Yeah.
the close quarters, and
Right.
usually on a ship, I don't know how many months you're usually out there, like 3 months,
Hmm.
but they usually like every couple weeks they go on shore. They let
Hmm.
them go on leave,
Yeah.
but they're just stuck on these ships. And they're also feeling, some of them have reported feeling like they're complicit in some of this stuff that we're doing,
Yeah.
bombing this girl's school.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be there.
Right.
And it's just, it's horrendous. It reminds me, I mean, this is a more extreme, but Republicans are just terrible at this. I can remember during Iraq, remember when they didn't have the bulletproof vest or something, they had body armor.
The Kevlar, yeah.
They didn't have the body armor, and people were having to send them body armor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Wow.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's just, but this is of course is worse. They're out there on the ship,
Yeah.
and
This
they don't
is
care. They don't care
it,
about them.
it's fucking insane.
It is it's
And
just
I tell you what, whatever, I mean, the media is like spinning all this stuff about, oh, the Democratic Party, the centrist versus the DSA, trying to,
progressives.
yeah, the progressives. Oh, well, are you kidding me? I,
No, we all have to,
I,
and they
I
are. We are
mean,
uniting because
we are
I think
uniting.
this
Yeah.
threat is so
Yep.
severe.
Mm-hmm.
The threat that we're all facing right now,
Yes.
and the Republicans don't understand this, and maybe the media doesn't understand this, but we Democrats, people who actually care about this country,
Mm-hmm.
understand that, and I've seen it. Okay, so it's a democratic socialist, but you know what? Look at what we're facing. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. People know, people understand very clearly who's causing this, okay?
Yeah,
It's not
and we went out.
DSA, it's not the Democratic Party. It is the Republican Party and Donald Trump.
It's not the moderate
And we're
Democrats, it's not the centrists, it's not the DSA, it's not the
no,
progressives. And right now, this is why I say it won't matter. They can talk about, oh, Democrats in disarray all night and day, but it won't matter in the end because people
no.
are going to get out and vote against this horror show.
Yep. Yep. It's just, yeah, it's out of control. So anyway, well, Anita, yeah, this is shocking news and very
Yeah,
sad
all our
and
best and love for
infuriating. Yeah,
Heidi
yeah, and to Wendy, we
and
know, I
Wendy.
mean,
Yeah,
they are partners in the work that they do with the Global Project Against Hate and Extremism. Please, I will try and get the link put into the comments on the social media posts and on our uh Patreon and but yeah, please if
yes,
you
please
can go, you
help
know
them
what?
out.
You don't even have to like and subscribe, or send us any money. Um, you
Send it
know,
to the
send it to yeah.
global extremism. Yeah,
Yeah. Please
Project for
donate to, yeah,
against global
please donate
extremism.
to
Yeah,
them. We have to support these organizations that are literally continuing today to send out their emails to give the reports and just vital information that all of us need to be able to fight
these are
back in this
heroes.
moment. They are absolute heroes. Absolute heroes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So we're not going to play you out with
We're
a
not.
song
We don't feel
today.
like it.
Mm-mm.
We don't feel
No,
like it.
not even an Iran Lego video.
No,
No.
but yeah, I mean, seriously though, like and subscribe our YouTube, ring the bell so you get
Smash the button.
notifications, smash the button, yeah. And and please subscribe to our Patreon. You don't have to give us any money, like I said. Please just help the Global Project Against Hate and Extremism, the SPLC, and the ACLU, whatever
Yeah.
organizations that are doing this work to help us survive this and
Yep.
defeat it. So, all right. Love you guys.
Love
Have
you.
a great day.
We can. We won't be back tomorrow. We'll be back on Monday.
Yes, we'll be back on Monday. Thank you for that. We will be on the Politics Bar with Jody Hamilton and Sean Smith Pierce. I will be on Choose Views, calling in to Richard Chu at 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. So we will look forward to seeing y'all back on Monday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.